Hi P1, we've had some beautiful weather here in Kinross recently, and for us that means water fights. But it got me thinking, each time we've had a water fight and ended up with puddles like this on the floor, after half an hour or so I go back and the puddles disappeared. So where does that water go? On a hot sunny day like today, what happens to the puddles? Well, we can do a little experiment using a jam jar like this one to find out what happened when we warm up water, just like the puddles here on the ground. What we're going to do is going to pour some water into the jam jar and wherever the water goes up to it, I want you to draw a line like this. So with a pen, just draw a line showing how far up the jam jar the water goes. Be careful to put it exactly on the level of the water like this. Now you're going to leave that jam jar somewhere nice and toasty, like a hot sunny window ledge. Leave it there a good long while, maybe 4 or 5 hours. When that amount of time has passed, if you go back to your jam jar and have a look again where that line was, and you might find that the water doesn't reach all the way up to that line anymore. Why does that happen, I wonder? Well, what's happening is, when your jam jar's been sitting on that hot window ledge, the liquid water inside your jam jar has been warmed up by the sun. When water like this gets warmed, it turns into a gas called water vapour. So this liquid water gets turned into a gas. A gas is much lighter than liquid. So the gas rises up, and because we've got a hole here in the top of our jam jar, the water vapour escapes out the top and goes off into your room. We can see that the liquid is being turned into a gas and escaping because the level of the water has dropped down. There's not as much liquid water in there anymore. And if you left the jam jar there for maybe 2, 3 or 4 days, almost all of the water might evaporate in the same way that you've seen earlier on. The next experiment we can do today, you're going to need a little bit of plastic like this, either cling film or a plastic bag. Put it over the top of your jam jar and put it really tight with an elastic band like this. Now leave that jam jar again in your nice warm place, a nice sunny window ledge. Leave it there again for maybe a day, and if you go and have a check in the evening, what you might find this time, the plastic on the top is stopping that water vapour from escaping out of the jam jar. So instead of the water level going down and it just escaping out into your room, what's going to happen is this water down here, the liquid is going to get heated up, it's going to turn into a gas, into water vapour, and it's going to rise up the jam jar like before. Now last time it just came out the top, but now it can't because we've got this plastic over the top. So what you'll probably see is that the water vapour's gone up and then it's hit this plastic here. And underneath there you might find lots and lots of little drops of water. And that's because the water vapour has turned back into liquid water. It's got trapped on the top here, cooled down and turned back into liquid water. That's what happens up in the sky on a warm sunny day like today. Our puddles are getting warmed up by the sun, they're turning into water vapour and rising up because water vapour is really light, and as it goes up into the sky, it cools down and turns into clouds. And that's what I can see around in the sky today. And that's what's happening to my puddles. Have a little go with this experiment and see if you can make some water droplets underneath this plastic that you've put on the top here. And that will show you that your liquid water is turning into a gas, into water vapour, and then it's turning back into liquid water again as little drops underneath here. If you want to learn a little bit more about what we've been speaking about today, about evaporation, if you go onto Do You Know on CBeebies and type in evaporation song, Maddie Moat does a brilliant song all about evaporation. I think you'll really enjoy it. I hope to see you soon, P1. Bye!